Everybody, it's Kyle Daniels with Vista Sotheby's International Realty, bringing you the market update for November 2nd, 2023. Today we're going to talk about the market up to this point, really for the year, but looking at what's happened over October. And again, today we're going to cover the entire South Bay, which pretty much goes from El Segundo into Palos Verdes. I'll include a couple little areas in San Pedro and inland just a hair, into Holly Glen and some of those neighborhoods. But the main takeaway of all you watch is the market remains very resilient. Now let me get into the specifics. When we look at overall sales, that's probably our biggest decline in the market. Now sales are down about 30% compared to a year ago. And remember, we're coming off of, 1 year ago, we were coming off a very busy spring as those rising rates prompted people to jump in and get those purchases in before what turned out to be a pretty smart decision, because rates have gone up from about 3% last spring of 2022 to over 7% today. Now, when we look at active listings, since 2019, they're still down about 50%. So pre-pandemic levels were down about 50% with total listings, but we're hovering around 550 to 625 active listings in a given month throughout the whole South Bay. Before we were, up higher, close to 1,100. So that just gives you a read on where the market is. And that overall, we're seeing a seller's market because of that lack of inventory. The demand really hasn't gone away. It's not like the economy's been wiped out here in the South Bay. There's still plenty of people that have good jobs here, and they want to be here for the nice weather, the good schools, just the lifestyle that we get to live here in the South Bay. Now, month supply has been on the rise, what's going on there? Well, if inventory is dropping, that means buyer demand has kind of dropped as well for that month supply to increase. Now, for the whole South Bay, we're hovering around 2.5 months of supply. Years ago, we used to consider 6 months a balanced market. I'd make the case, because we've been in this cycle really for the last, 4 years, that this lower supply level that we're seeing, probably 3 months is getting closer to a balanced market. So we're still slightly on the edge of a seller's market. If we go over, maybe closer to 4 months, we'll start seeing more of a buyer market. But the main reason that buyer demand has pulled back is because of the affordability. These home prices have gone up so fast, salaries can't keep pace. And when we look at a chart right here, this is the average sales price in the South Bay. So I should get fancier with my graphics here and pull this up for you. But when we look at this in January of 2018, the average price was around 1.2 million. Here today, we see it kind of level off. It climbed all through the pandemic and then has really leveled off this past year. But it's getting pretty close to 1.7 million. So $500,000 in really 5 years, or almost 6 years, is radical appreciation when you think about it. And so as a result, that affordability has gone down, buyer demand has pulled back, but relative to the supply drop, we haven't seen this crazy increase in month supply. We look back into the tough times, 2010. We had 18 months supply in some markets, and that was a year and a half of buying activity before all inventory would have cleared up, is what that means. But overall, prices remain very stable. We're only down less than 1%, actually 0.6% compared to a year ago for prices. Again, you look at that, it's kind of leveled off. So that's a great sign given the huge increase in, over double the interest rate from, about spring of 2022, and the prices are only down less than 1%. That's the resilience of this market. Really, when you look, we still see pretty close to a 50-50. Maybe right now it's about 60-40, where 60% are selling at a discount, 40% are selling at or over the list price. That's just a very strong sign of a strong market and the resiliency, where we don't have people that have to sell and we have buyers that still want to be here. And so that fluctuation, and plus or minus, the listing price has been really about 1% plus or minus, so 101 to 99% of the list price. Days on the market's very stable when we look at that metric, which means, we haven't seen things really sit that long. Some markets fixers in particular tend to be sitting a lot longer than they were, when rates were cheaper, which is telling me, those people that want to buy and do projects, the cost of, construction loans is really crazy right now, looking at almost 10%. So, that is, on that side of the market, days on market are higher, but good properties are still selling within, a couple weeks. And then finally, I really see some buying opportunities. And what I mean by that is, sure, if you can afford the high interest rates, it's a bit of a challenge, but if you find something you can afford, the competition is much less than it was. When rates stabilize and or drop, I think we're going to see a lot more buyers move back into the market. Rates can always change, but that purchase price locks you in. If rates do go up, you're at least locking in the rate today, but if they drop, you can always refinance. Now, I can't predict what's going to happen. I don't think you should try to predict what's going to happen. The Fed has been stable. We've had 2 Fed meetings where they have not raised rates, but it's anyone's guess as to what's going to happen. However, I've seen over the long term, South Bay real estate has continued to appreciate, and when you get these buying opportunities, you got to take them. And that's usually driven more by demand, because when the demand comes back in the market, we'll just see the prices continue to go up. I'll bring this chart back up again. When we see this leveling off, we saw this big rise and then a leveling off, leveled, rise. So it's pretty much only gone up. There was a little period where it went down, but it's really almost always gone up, especially if you're going to be in it for the long haul. If you're looking to get in and get out real quick, maybe not the time to do that. But if you're long on the market, you're planning to raise your family here, spend some time here, retire here, whatever it is, I would get in while the competition's less. And hey, if something better comes along down the road, the market's better, you can always trade out. So that's it. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to even just provide a referral source for handyman, whatever you need. Or if you want to talk about buying and selling real estate, that's my bread and butter. I'd love to help you out there. Thanks, and enjoy this great time of the year. I always feel like this is the best time, those cool mornings and beautiful sunsets. So, all right, take care.